And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to Gem in the Crypto episode 1250. Today is Friday, November 15, 2024, and I'm King here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto every day, Monday through Friday at 10ish. And today was a 10ish day because these stories have been a lack and everybody's happy. It's not too much stories to go around. Everybody's just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with price movement, what's going to happen with the new president-elect, what's going to happen with the end of this administration. So I think that's kind of affecting the speed of the price. But top stories of the day: Trump trade over Bitcoin, Ethereum ETF sees first outflow since election. 18 U.S. states file lawsuit against SEC and Gary Gensler. Goldman Sachs holds 710 million in Bitcoin ETFs, says an SEC filing. And Pennsylvania lawmaker introduces bill for strategic Bitcoin reserve. But first and foremost, of course, let's go ahead and take a quick look at these prices on the day. Bitcoin still holding steady, going sideways. I guess you can call it sideways, upwardly sideways. Where's this Coin Telegraph, or excuse me, Coin Market Cap? $88,335, down 0.9%. Ethereum at $3,038, down 2.48%. Number 5, BNB is at $605, down 3.52%. Number 7, XRP is at 88 cents, up 23.42%. The Ripple folks are extremely happy today. Number 9, Cardano at 60 cents, up 20%. And number 10, Tron at 18 cents, up 3.54%. Fear and Greed Index is at 84. Bitcoin dominance slipped just a few percentage points at 59.87%. And Ethereum dominance is at a 12.5% on the day. What's going on? What's going on? Let me get some quick shout outs to see the chat is getting full. Memories of Mike Humney, BK Crypto. Oh, that's what I meant to do. Shout out to BK Crypto. You know what? It was a different hoodie I was going to put on today. It was yours I actually had out, and I couldn't find it in the sea of hoodies. JD Benson, what up, though? Chloe Dior, Bar None, Les Square. Good morning. Good morning. Keebalon, what up, though? Credit K, Jerome Jones. Good morning, everybody. It's been a great week. The prices have been up. It's been a lot of great energy in the space. Shout out to Horizon and Rob from Horizon for coming on the show. Mythical Games. Both great projects, great teams. Can't wait to keep following them and see what they have going on. Jake, I saw your free SBF shirt too. Is at the top of my pile as well. So, speaking of the free SBF shirt, the reason why I had all of these hoodies out and everything. So, I tweeted out or I X'd out yesterday. For those who live in Los Angeles, there is an opportunity for those who live in Los Angeles and who have a personal crypto story to tell, whether you're doing remittances, payments to other countries or other states to support your family, whether you're investing in crypto, whether you have some type of portfolio. But anyone who lives in Los Angeles and has a crypto story to tell about their personal self, there is a $3,000 opportunity to get paid to do that. You know, I'm still working in Hollywood and doing all types of commercials. Well, they're casting for a crypto commercial. I can't remember. I think it's from I don't want to say the Roan campaign or association, just because, you know, legally and all that good stuff. But the information is all there on the X. They show who the whole campaign is. Great casting company who does it as well on there. So you'll definitely get your money if that is the case. But yes, they're paying $3,000 for that. So I just tweet that out. I also put it in the Discord, and I can put it in the show description as well afterwards. But it is $3,000 for a crypto story for those who live in Los Angeles, because they're either going to send a commercial crew to you or they're going to help you do it, but they want to film you in Los Angeles. So that's why. All right. Other than that, let me go ahead and get with the show. Les Square says, how do I feel about the idea of tokenization of real world assets? I still haven't done enough homework to talk about the real world assets. I know a lot of people are super excited about them. So I won't say much yet. But in general, I mean, it's been tried before, I guess, a few years ago. I'm actually for it, but it's really about how do these things get on chain. So that's a whole different conversation as far as like the validity of things getting on chain to begin with, and then where they're stored at, you know, because yeah, that adds whole different, like, or if they're stored in like some type of, especially if it's a real world asset, if they're stored in some type of cell to where if it's manipulated or tampered with, then it already gets pinged on the blockchain. Who knows? But that's like a whole nother thing. Let's see. Dang, these media companies get FOMO too doing crypto stories. Yes, they are FOMOing. They're paying 3K a story. Crypto neck. Yes, for sure. For sure. So I love it. Late night crypto show. Bring it on. All right. Let's go. Top stories other day. Trump trade is over, they're saying. The market is retracing. Oh my God, we went down 0.9%. It's already over with. People are ready to throw up their arms and say Bitcoin is again dead. Spot crypto ETFs in the US saw outflows for the first time since Donald Trump was elected president, as both Bitcoin and Ethereum fell on the day. Another amazing art piece by Cointelegraph. Looks like Farside Investors shows the 11 Bitcoin ETFs together posted a net outflow of $400 million on November 14th, as Bitcoin saw a drop on the day and was down 2% over the last 24 hours at $88,200. So, what I will say, well, the only two funds to see positive flows were BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF, which had $126.5 million worth of net inflows alongside a minor $2.5 million flow into the VanEck Bitcoin ETF. Fidelity ETF posted the largest net outflow at 179.2 million, followed by 161.7 million from ARK and 21 shares joint ETF, and 113.9 million from Bitwise Fund. Grayscale ETF and Mini saw outflows of 74.9 million. So what this says to me is this: follow the smart money, right? Or follow the money in general. Now, I don't think the market has felt this already. From what I've seen, when they've been doing these, at least by the time the article reports on it and when it's actually happening, it seems to take about 48 hours to 72 hours before the market feels the cycle. So I don't think we've even felt these outflows yet. I think we probably won't feel them until Monday morning. So the same way we went up last Monday, I don't think this would be that Monday. I think will this stay sideways? We might just dip just a little bit, only because these outflows are happening before the weekend. And then as far as the United States goes, the market shuts down. And then Monday comes and it's like that's the reaction from the last 48 hours, whatever Monday's price would be. So I think if anything will go sideways and might have a small dip. But also, this is showing what the big companies there, or the big players, they're doing the same thing as the poly market folks were gambling. They gambled on the election. They're just not saying it out loud. Like, they inflowed ETFs, inflowed the market, went crazy. President-elect Trump won. The price went up. And now they're like, all right, time to cash out. We're not going to sit on this until January, February. You got to remember what's about to happen in the federal government, and the big players know this. Holiday. As soon as Thanksgiving start, really, it is shut down. As I've always said, just been saying, it's shut down until after Martin Luther King Day, usually the 21st or whatever. Again, I know this from in the military, works the same way. Like, things slow down, things shut down until after Martin Luther King Day. When that holiday weekend is over, is when government and everyone kind of gets back into office and goes back to the full swing of things. So I don't think these banks, not saying there won't be another pump or another positive outflow week until then, but right now we're about to get into territory where they know the federal government's going to go slow. People want to cash out maybe for the holidays, things of that sort. And I think this outflow might just be the start of it. So we'll see what happens. This is going to be interesting, but it's enough to be a story right now. And people are saying that is because the Trump trade enthusiasm is officially over. We'll see the price reflects it on Monday. It'll be interesting. Yes, I saw a full moon, or like almost a full moon last night as well. Jake, good shout out on that. I saw like a full moon last night. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Does the full moon have anything to do with it? We will see. Let's see. MetaMask. Yeah, MetaMask is still pretty good, Satoshi Slim. I still mess with some MetaMask wallets for testing purposes mostly, but they're pretty good still. Let's see. U.S. companies are gearing up to become banks. Walmart being anti-Apple Pay, other businesses attempting to put out their own POS systems. I can see that because it's becoming to this, you have enough customers, you have enough volume, you have enough capital. Why not be a bank if you can, especially as crypto starts to introduce itself and you can do other things with it. So that'll be interesting to see. All right. This was a very interesting story right here. Well, actually, wait. Is this out of order? Which one are we going to do first? You know what? First, I'll do this Goldman Sachs one. Goldman Sachs holds $710 million in Bitcoin ETFs, says an SEC filing. Since the second quarter, Goldman Sachs has added $300 million to its portfolio in Bitcoin ETF holdings, increasing exposure by 71%. If you remember, Goldman Sachs is backing Circle, if that's correct. And Circle were the ones who bought Poloniex, an exchange that used to be popular, but once they were bought, it was already like the party was over. Barely anyone used it. But Circle bought it. That was backed by Goldman Sachs. That ended up becoming a dud, of course, because all those who actually knew that they were buying what's considered the bag. They were buying everyone's old money that people were trying to sell off. That's because, again, no one was using the exchange. So when they sold that exchange, or they bought it for 300 million or whatever dollars, they sold it for nickels on the dollar. And if I remember correctly, the CEO, the chairman at the time, he stepped aside. He still had a position on the board, but he was no longer the leader. They got a new leader in there, and it looks like the new leader pivoted over to ETFs. And this has looked to be a safe move for them to the extent that they're actually going to get some of that money back, right? So you're talking Goldman Sachs, a major global investment bank, once critical of Bitcoin. And I won't be too hard on them. Like, of course, everyone was critical on Bitcoin, but I almost want to say they had a hand in the New York Agreement as well. And if not, they definitely had their eye on Bitcoin and crypto. They weren't as critical of Bitcoin as they were of their market friends. So you got to remember, Goldman Sachs, they're friends with banks and all that good stuff, wealth management firm, old money, legacy money. So I don't think a lot of like Goldman Sachs per se was scared to jump into the crypto mix. I'm sure if I look through some old videos, they probably made some inflammatory marks. But Goldman Sachs is about making money beyond anything. So I don't think they really care how it comes. Bitcoin, cash, gold, diamonds, like slaves, like being honest, I don't think they even care. It's just like it's gonna bring capital to us. So I won't knock them too much. But I mean, hey, good play, regardless if you like them or love them, whatever, hate them, they're in the mix. November 14th, filing with the US SEC. Goldman Sachs reported about $718 million in holdings in 8 Bitcoin ETFs. And this is what I mean when they say the retail market has, bought into ETFs. It's like, well, not really. You got Goldman Sachs, who, clearly owns a lot of retail portfolios, investing in it all at one time. The report disclosed $461 million investment in BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF, the iShares one. And the latest report revealed it added $300 million to the ETF portfolio since the second quarter, a 71% increase. Which, again, if you're going to bet on the smart money, that shows that this is the future. This is what people want. This is what they want to see. And it looks like this is what's happening. So you can kind of see where they invested into what funds and how much here on the right for that total of $718 plus million. And they spread it out everywhere. They definitely sprinkled it about. And shout out to BlackRock, ARK, 21, all these other companies. At the end of the day, they did what they needed to do to sell to the likes of Goldman Sachs to get all that capital into their portfolios, and it's flooded into the market. So it's looking good. Let's see. iCoin Wallet is still good as well. iCoin Wallet is still good. I haven't used Treasure or Ledger recently. As far as I'm concerned, I knew Treasure was still pretty good, and Ledger, I'm not sure what's going on. I know they started to. Whenever you just specifically only advertise to the urban crowd and the way you do it, sometimes I'm just like, it's becoming less about the technology. So I don't know, but I know some good people who are working for them, so I'm not going to try to play them like that. Reggie, I just talked to Reggie 2 days ago. I think we were texting a couple days ago. He sent me some info. I got to read over, but Reggie can come on whenever. He's probably in the chat. What up, though, Reggie? Reggie, no, he's welcome back whenever. But he's around. Reggie's good to go. I saw another comment. What else do we have going on? What do I think about AI agents? If that's like the AI agents what do you mean, that help with stuff online? You got to give me more info on it. Oh, and by the way, today is, of course, FBF. So if you have something to shield or you want to get something off of your chest, feel free to go ahead and call in. I'm going to go ahead and put this link in the chat before I cover these last couple of stories. But feel free to call in. Let me know what's going on. Let me know what projects you're looking at. and see who's the genius right now. I know everybody is since the market's pumping. All right, let me see. Oh, I got like a screen lock on my laptop, and of course I just hit it. It locks my whole laptop. You're not gonna Ross Ulbricht me. That's the thing. I got a screen lock on it, but sometimes it messes me up. I just had to sign back into my whole laptop that quick. I did it very quickly though. It's funny. And make sure everybody can still hear me. Make sure my mic didn't cut out. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. What's going on? Pennsylvania lawmaker. Oh, this is a good story. I like this story right here. Bring this up. Pennsylvania lawmaker introduces bill for strategic Bitcoin reserve. The proposed legislation would allow the state of Pennsylvania's treasurer to invest up to 10% of its funds in Bitcoin, suggesting a multi-billion-dollar investment. That's right. Wow. Pennsylvania lawmakers have introduced legislation in the state's House of Reps to permit its treasury to hold up to 10% in Bitcoin on its balance sheet. And this is what I mean by voting local, city, and state. Because if your state, wherever you are, had up to say half of its treasury in Bitcoin, it wouldn't really matter who was the president, really, because then it'll be like, look, we're really doing our own thing financially over here. Do we even need federal capital or whatever outside of like just staying within the guidelines and laws of this great nation? So it just gives you more wiggle room. But in a November 12th memo, Representative Mike Cable, a Republican, said he proposed the bill as a tool to protect against inflation, claiming using Bitcoin as a hedge could offer stability in uncertain economic times. I mean, essentially, I didn't even read this article. I just saw the headline, but they're essentially saying the same thing I'm saying, but in a more diplomatic way. Like, what causes inflation, the state or the country? So, you know what I mean? So they're essentially doing the same thing. Like that gives you that wiggle room. Honestly, listen, I know what they're doing too. Like I said, this is why I saw the headline. I like the story. The wiggle room will be political wiggle room as well. Wasn't Pennsylvania, and again, I didn't pay that much attention, but I pay a little bit of attention. Wasn't Pennsylvania like a big swing state or something that was going to determine this year's election? And now all of a sudden they want to say, hey, let's go ahead and start throwing 10% of our Bitcoin in. Politicians, government always have long-term plans. If it's 10% this year, in 10 years, it's 30% at least, So what would be making them want to do that? Saying uncertainty in economic times or uncertainty in political times as well. So the legislation that passed will allow Pennsylvania's treasurer to invest up to 10% of the state general fund, the rainy day fund, and the state investment fund in Bitcoin. That makes the whole state Bitcoiners, whether they like it or not. I love it. As of November, the state's treasury reported it had more than $9.7 billion in its general fund and roughly $7 billion in its rainy day fund. And this is something I've been saying from day one, folks. This is what I'm waiting for Bitcoin to become a reserve currency. When Bitcoin backs the government, when they say for every $1 you have, that's 100 Satoshis or whatever. When Bitcoin is the reserve currency, when it's being backed by everything, when it's backing everything, that's when we make it to the next stage. Yes, I see Pepe's going crazy. Call in and tell me about it. Let's see what else we have. I'm sure. Who's that? Who's that? We got a new city councilwoman that goes to your church. You can't wait to start making moves in the city. Here we go. No, Richard Hart's never been banned. Tell Richard, I tried to get Richard on, but I think he kind of went MIA on some of his comms, or like on his Twitter and then on his you know how all these guys do when they go MIA, folks. Come on, listen. We know how these people be when they get to missing in action. All right. That's why look, I like to be out and about. I like to make sure people can see me. Oh, see, there we go. Oh, Reggie, what's going on, Reggie?
What's up,
chat
brother?
asked for you and Reggie came. There we go. say him twice in the fintech cloud and he pops up. How you been, Reggie?
I've been working hard, man. Working hard.
I still haven't had a chance to read over your documents that's on the slate for this weekend. But is there anything you can share with us that might be some new updates?
Well, if you didn't read the document, that's a problem because the document is crazy. It's not my document. It's a Very Dollars document. But basically, the Very Dollars did a research project on the SEC, and they're alleging violation of RICO law and fraud on the court. RICO laws, what they use to go after the mob and the gangsters, organized crime. It's interesting. It sounds bombastic until you read it. So if you have the document, read like the first 15 lines and your audience will get the message.
Well, you know what? It doesn't sound bombastic. I wanted to make sure I gave it the proper attention when I did. That's why I haven't got to it yet. But that was the last story for today. Low key, we can just roll into it with you. 18 U.S. states filed lawsuit against SEC and Gary Gensler. Uh, People, it's coming in hot. 18 U.S. states have filed a lawsuit against the Securities and Exchange Commission and Chair Gary Gensler, accusing the financial regulator of gross government overreach against the nascent crypto industry. Plaintiffs include Nebraska, Tennessee, Wyoming, Kentucky, West Virginia, Iowa, Texas, Mississippi, Ohio, Montana, and others. The legal complaint reads: the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has not respected this allocation of authority. Instead, without congressional authorization, the SEC has sought to unilaterally wrest regulatory authority away from the states through an ongoing series of enforcement actions. According to the Blockchain Association, the SEC's various legal actions against the crypto industry have collectively cost crypto firms $426 million since 2021 to litigate. And really quick, by the way, I've been saying since day one, if all these firms would actually join forces together, they could have just spent that same money paying for their own lawyers to just sue the SEC outright from the jump. But everybody was kind of doing their own thing, and I got to be first to I got to be first, I got to win, I got to be first, and they were just getting plucked apart one by one. But it looks like the tide has turned. So what you have as well, Reggie? I mean, you need to jump on one of these states right here.
Well, I think it's a bigger and much different because this country has gotten ensconced in bipartisan politics, and the problem is, a lot of people are looking at the problem as political when it's not. I have a question. What's the difference between Gary Gensler and Jay Clayton? Jay Clayton is the SEC that was commissioner appointed by Trump during the Trump administration. What's the primary difference?
I'm not sure. You got to tell me.
Nothing.
Same.
Absolutely nothing. Gary Gensler was continuing all the policies that Jay Clayton started. Jay Clayton's the one that took apart Veritasium. Jay Clayton's the one that sued Ripple midnight the day before he resigned. He didn't get fired, he didn't replace, he resigned. Midnight before resignation, he sued Ripple. They also took out Telegram. Now, I'm not a big fan of that, of course,
right?
Because I was one of those guys they took out. But Gary Gensler came and did the same thing. And everybody's, putting devil horns on Gary Gensler, and deserved. I'm not going to, front like it's not. But what is the difference between him and his predecessor? Now, his predecessor, you ever watch Billions, the movie with Paul Giamatti, the TV show?
Oh, yeah, that's my show. And that's why I say they all government. That's why I always say every time. I said they're both going to carry out big government's plan. Big government's plans to take over this industry. So it don't matter who's in position. That's what they're going to try to do.
Well, look how interesting that TV show is, because Paul Giamatti was the Southern District of New York prosecutor.
Oh, right. That was supposed to be Jay Clayton back in the day. I remember that when we were talking about that on the show. Right. I remember.
Right. No. That's not Jay Clayton back in the day. Jay Clayton back in the day was the SEC commissioner. The guy with the Greek name, the thing guy.
Paul Giamatti was Southern District guy.
Right. And if you notice, the SEC commissioner worked hand in hand with the Southern District of New York prosecutor. So Jay Clayton was the SEC commissioner. He resigned, and guess what? Guess who Trump nominated for the SDNY position? The Paul Giamatti position.
I saw that as a story today. I saw it as a story, and I was about to cover it, but I'm just like, I wasn't sure if it was official when I logged on, but I'm looking at it now in the back.
Well, it's not official. It was just a news article, but I'm like, listen, what a coincidence, right? So, I'm not gonna say it's more the same, because a lot of big crypto companies put a lot of money into the Trump campaign and the Kamala campaign. It looks like they're finally starting to learn the lessons from the banks, and that partisan politics are bad for business. So you fund everybody, and that way you can't lose. But they put money to the Trump campaign. So I do think you're going to have a changing of the guard. But it's not going to be everybody's crypto friendly. It's going to be you have the old boys club just got a little younger. Now you have a new old boys club. If you understand what I mean, I don't want to call
Yeah.
names, right? But there's still some people who are not going to be part of that club, and they're still going to be ostracized and attacked. And maybe it's just my imagination. Maybe I watch too much cable TV, of billions and all that. But if the guy who went after crypto and the biggest crypto companies that had the biggest, prosecutions and payouts went from SEC chair to the SDNY, and you watch billions, you're just taking a fox and putting him in a hen house. Or
I
maybe I
mean,
just watch too much TV, so don't mind me, right?
no, it's definitely here's this is my strong hope of what may happen. Like you said, the fox is going in the hen house. I agree, but I also believe that they're going to be so busy, and this also happened the first time in the first, to me, the first administration as well, with his Trump's administration. They're going to be so busy doing what foxes and hen houses do. It's up to you to also be another fox in the hen house or be one of the hens. But this is going to be a madhouse, okay? It's going to be a madhouse out there, folks. We are back to the wild, wild west of crypto. But make sure you're not messing up too big. Because like you said, Jay Clayton going to the Southern District. I think, honestly, if you have some money, if you're wearing a red hat and Jay Clayton catch you, you're good to go. If you're not wearing a red hat and Jay Clayton catch you,
Yeah,
oh, he gonna
I think
hey,
it's
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be
a
like
little
this.
harder than the red hat, man. You're gonna need a
Nah,
green hat.
no. But the money comes with it either way. You gotta have the Bitcoin with you either way. You can't come. Wait, you're coming broke? Oh no. You can't come broke either way. We know that part. But to even have a fighting chance, yeah, you gotta have the money, have a red hat on, and yeah, make crypto making us great again. You got a chance. But yeah, if you come talking crazy to Jay Clayton, them boys, they can be, oh, all right. This is got real personal.
Now let me put this on the record
All right.
so nobody comes after me. I'm not um I am not discussing wrongdoing. Okay. And the last thing I need is for anybody in the SDNY to come after me because they don't miss. Once they go after somebody, they get them sooner or later.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm an innocent dude. I just watch a lot of TV and I just, look at the correlations and I'm like, okay, I would love for this to be, it doesn't have to be a pro crypto country, right? Just be fair. Just be fair, you know? Don't pick the winners and losers and don't beat up the people you want to lose because you want them to lose. Let the best man win, the best ideas, the best execution. You understand what I mean?
I mean, I'm with you. I'm always for those principles, but I've seen how our country feels about it. I mean, honestly, even look at some of our neighbors. Like, literally, look at your neighbor. Look at the comments and the threads, and people are like, "No," and you're like, "Why?" And people are just like, "F them," because that's why. Like, so what? It's unfortunate, but I think it's been this negative, pessimistic energy. Uh, Hopefully, it changes, but I don't
So
see
that
it changing. I don't
if
see
you,
it changing in this next 4 years. I think it's still like you said. I think it's going to be a wild west mad grab. Play it smart, but I don't know. I think it's going to get crazy. Bitcoin will be the winner, but it'll get crazy. I don't know. You think it'll be
yeah.
You think because I don't know. You think that
Bitcoin's been co-opted. I understand y'all all on the Bitcoin, but listen,
yeah.
who owns more Bitcoin than everybody else now?
I
Just
mean,
put Satoshi
United
to the
States
side.
probably, right? Is it United States? I wouldn't be surprised the
No,
US got it.
BlackRock.
Is it BlackRock?
BlackRock owns
Wow,
more Bitcoin than everybody else. And they also
that's
control the demand of more Bitcoin than anybody else. Right? Bitcoin was co-opted a long time ago, and now it's obvious. Anybody who argues otherwise, you need to pick up a calculator and start adding it up.
so.
Okay.
When you say co-op, though, wait. When you say co-op, are you saying there's no longer consensus in Bitcoin in general?
Everything about Bitcoin. What about Bitcoin is decentralized and not controlled by
Oh,
a
we
large
got us
financial
a
entity?
fuck Bitcoin Friday, folks. It's official. Hey, I gotta get the soundboard back on. Ding, 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 ding,
Listen,
ding.
it's
Come
too
on,
late for
Reggie.
that. This is
What?
Bitcoin's
What?
already
It's over.
pregnant.
Oh
Bitcoin's 13
man.
months pregnant. It's too late to
Oh
talk
man.
about.
Oh,
It's too
Reggie,
late
come
to talk about
on.
bending Bitcoin over. It's been done, man. Okay,
Oh,
she's
come
already
on,
pregnant. It's
Reggie,
done. It's a wrap. Stick a
Reggie.
fork in it. It's done.
Come
It's done.
on. They listen. Don't let them get
Listen,
your heart. You got to keep the good
I
fight going.
I can guarantee you, right? In 3 years, there's gonna be a trademark. BlackRock Bitcoin.
ETF maybe.
And your
I won't.
kids, if Bitcoin's still
No,
around, your kids are not going to know what Bitcoin is. They're just going to call it BlackRock coin, basically.
I don't think so. No.
You
If
okay?
it
And
were,
money
it'd be
doesn't,
longer than
and money doesn't make a difference, and neither does Wall Street and control, and the banks run nothing. You okay?
no.
Well,
I
anyway,
know all
as I
that.
was saying, as I was saying, you'll want to
Yeah.
do some decent reading. Go to the verydow.io site and look
All
at
right.
the SEC dossier. It should blow
Check
your
it
mind.
out. Check it out,
All
folks.
fact. It's 2,000 pages. Only 97 pages of it is the actual dossier. The other 1,900 pages are evidence, and it's put together by the Veritasium community. Okay, once you read it, once you read a page and a half in, you know exactly where I'm coming from. You wouldn't be able to put it down. All
All right.
fact. Okay, and the facts came from the SEC itself. Okay, so it's not much to be discussed, argued, or not cooperated. And that's
So
community work, by the way. That was done by a DAO. Community
let me
work.
let me ask you this. What do you think, really quick, what do you think is going to be the outcome then of this, of what Very DAO is doing and everything in general, if it's going to be more of the same, you think?
It's always more of the same. It'll stop being more of the same when banks no longer control money and powerful people no longer control countries.
But
And
what I'm
until that
saying is,
happens, you're not going to get much of a difference.
do you see a win in sight when you're still dealing with the same type of people or the
It looks
same
like
type
the
of
winners are starting to
institutions?
coalesce.
Okay.
Regulation is going to become more crypto friendly, but only crypto that was able to buy friendly regulation.
But I mean,
The
with
regular
Very DAO,
entrepreneur is still done. If you don't
but
have, if you're not part of the club, you're not part of the club.
But with what you're doing and what Very DAO is doing, do you see a win for those things happening, or
I do, but I
Okay,
can't really speak on it
no, I got you,
because,
yeah.
but
But but you
read
have
the
a win,
document.
so
You
you
tell
see a
me.
win in
I tell you
sight.
what, it's 2,000 pages, and this is what I tell everybody, or not tell everybody, but I recommend. Okay, it's 2,000 pages. Just
Right.
take it, upload it into Gemini Advanced from Google or ChatGPT, and ask ChatGPT and Gemini, what's this document about? Is it serious? Is it credible? What's the risk? Right, to the SEC commissioner, etc. Just ask.
Right.
You know,
But
you could
but
read
no,
that.
I'm saying like no, I'm not questioning that. Let's say everything about that's valid and everything's right. I'm saying, how do you see a win happening when like you're presenting valid papers to possibly agencies or a system that's going to be like, hey, we don't want to hear it? Do you see a win happening with them where finally somebody would say, no, 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 this is valid. This needs to be heard out and enforced? Do you see somebody kind of breaking that system there?
Of course,
Okay.
Gary Gensler a year and a half ago was the king. He was the
Right,
most
right,
influential person in the industry. Now he's a target.
right.
Okay.
Hey,
The problem
hey,
is for the wrong
happens
reason
fast.
because
Happens
because
fast.
a lot of people
The
are still
streets don't
looking at
lie.
this as some type of bipartisan political thing, and
Right,
they're
right.
just ignoring. I can't speak too freely upon it because people don't want to hear the truth. Remember, officer and gentlemen, the truth, you can't handle the truth, and they
Right.
can't. So I'm not going to speak the truth because all I'm going to do is get myself in trouble without any potential gain. But
Right.
there's going to be some shifts and changes. The problem is, I was talking to a brother the other day. He said the true definition of happiness is getting everything that you always wanted and then still being happy after you got it. Okay, because a lot of people want things, but they want something that they really shouldn't want, and when they get it, they'll be like, oh no, I shouldn't have got this. Okay, so a lot of people wanted a lot of changes. They got the changes they feel they wanted, but when reality soaks in, they'll be like, oh, we made a mistake. Okay, so there's gonna be some shifting in the, definitely shifting in the currents and the wind and everything, but you have to understand what makes capitalism work in America, right? And it is not the everyday person. The everyday
No,
person,
it's that
right?
capital.
They go along with the wind, and if they cooperate with the wind, everything goes well. If you don't cooperate, you either have to be strong enough to push against the wind, or you get blown over.
There it is.
So I'm talking in code word because I don't want to get
No,
myself in
I got
trouble.
you. I got you. No. Well, Reggie, as always, appreciate it. I'm gonna get back to you ASAP because I am gonna read over those documents this weekend. But definitely appreciate you hopping on. There you go, folks. Hey, you were asking about. I said Reggie ain't going nowhere, man. Reggie is here in the flesh. Much appreciate. Everything good your way, Reggie?
Everything's good. You're gonna be hearing a lot from me. I'm coming up. The Very Dow community is producing NFTs based upon the patented technology, and I'm gonna show everybody what NFTs are. They're not JPEGs. We're talking bilateral contracts that allow you to get in shape to create Netflix. Netflix is basically a serialized NFT. Okay, I'm going to, basically show everybody what it's about, and this is just a proof of concept.
Yeah, you gotta keep that one on the wraps because you already know that's the stuff where they gonna make those phone calls to friends like, "Hey, man, they trying to copy us, man."
Yeah, and listen, these NFTs are embedded in 1 ounce silver rounds.
Oh,
So
nice,
physically, 1 ounce of silver, a round. It looks like a coin, and the NFTs are embedded in there. Okay, and they
nice.
can be separated by the owner, kept, etc. Fly stuff.
All right,
That's
can't
actually
wait, man.
available at the very outside as well. You can probably take a look at that as well.
Definitely will. All right, well, much appreciated, Reggie. Check you out soon, man. Take care. Have a good weekend.
Okay, brother.
Cheers.
Okay.
There we go. Reggie Milton was in the house, folks. Let's see. I think okay. I thought somebody was just calling in. Yeah, that last story, crazy. The target is on SEC chairs. Gary Gensler back. Wait until we see what happens next time on the Gentlemen of Crypto. No, next year's season of crypto is going to be crazy when it comes to that. As an aside, kind of crazy. They always say there's one person, whenever he's out and he's free, the market is always up. And he was out and free in 2007 or something when the market was up, and he's out and free now and the market is up. Who knows? Maybe he's the real Satoshi. Anyway, make sure you smash that like and share. We will see you all next week with some more crypto news Monday morning. Hopefully, may have some more projects coming on next week. Still trying to talk and see, but I will figure it out.